sit down and watch TV. Familiar faces comfort me. Miss my...
What's up, guys, and welcome back to Cartoons and Cereal. I am your host as always, and you know what it is. It is your weekly nostalgia hit for all the cartoons you woke up Saturday mornings, bowl of cereal, run to that TV, getting ready to see what's in store. And as your champion, because I'm about to cut this promo for the next 15 minutes, that's right, we are talking about Mucha Lucha. One of my favorites growing up. One of my favorites for sure. Now, obviously, the Lucha Libre mask wrestling wasn't the whole, pomp and circumstance and, not masquerade ball, but it wasn't the whole flash attire that the WWE and the wrestling is nowadays. Everybody coming out in these capes and all these other fancy, amazing things, But Lucha was very over the top itself. It was a very over the top cartoon. As a kid, you loved it because it was crazy and it was wild and it was wacky. Now, I've been rewatching it as an adult because, you gotta do your research. You can't come on here and start spouting nonsense about the wrong things that did or didn't happen in the show. You gotta know the people's names. You have a comment word for me? Oh, that's so nice. But anyway, you can't sit up here and come on these and cut promos and be wrong. This is all these are. This is what these rants are. They're just me cutting promos. And now that I'm your champion, you're going to listen. Alright? You're going to respect your champion. Sorry. Had to get comfortable real quick. But anyway, it follows the story of three luchadors, Rickochet, the Flea, and Buena Girl in their school of lucha. There's a lot of wild, crazy characters, but I really enjoyed it because it's different than a lot of the other cartoons that are out there now, and even nowadays it's a lot different, as far as the music to it, and just how outrageous, and you notice as a kid how outrageous the things are, but you don't really, because it's just kind of cool and fun. But as an adult, to sit here and think okay, Ricochet, one of his signature, not even his signature move, one of his moves he turns into, not his signature, but one of his moves he turns into a ball and chain. And, he latched onto the guy and, swung him around. And that was something that I kind of forgot as an adult, that they turned into other objects and stuff like that. They weren't just kids, Ricochet turned into, obviously his signature move was a pulverizing pinball. Buena Girl, she turned into a hammer at one point, and she turned into a book at another point, but hers was the pulverizing, not pulverizing pinball, hers was the, what is the name of it? Oh man, now this gets my freaking mind, and I've been watching it. Oh man, I forgot what hers was called. I know the Fleas they never really showed because it was too disgusting. It was too disgusting. That's why Buena Girls was so, it was, who cared? It was the bulldozer. That's what it was. It was so annoying. It was so annoying. And it never landed. She would turn into the little bulldozer with the two hands, and she would just kind of try to scoop you or something. And every episode I've rewatched so far, she never hits it. Somebody jumps out the way and dodges, and then she's just, runs into a corner and hurts herself. The Flea, again, his is so stupid because it's funny that everybody's throwing up in the crowd and people start crying and hiding their eyes and stuff because it's so disgusting that they'll never show it. I don't know if they ever do. I'm going to keep watching the series and see if they actually do show it. I might have to look up on Google or something if they ever show the Flea signature move. All it is, it sounds like a whole bunch of throw up noises, and he's always farting, so a whole bunch of fart noises and weird stuff like that. And then he's just sitting there on a pile of crap, just happy with himself. And it's what the hell did you do to this kid? There's so many other outrageous parts of the show. I love the headmistress. because she has like she's crazy. Maybe I'm just toxic. I don't know. I'm probably just toxic. Anyway, she's funny as hell though, because she comes in, she can be nice and sweet, and then a second she's like screaming and ripping your head off, getting ready to throw you into some like 1-on-4 match to get ready to get your ass beat. She's like not an evil villain, obviously, but like she was crazy in the whole series. She was like that. She never really let up. But I never really understood like the brain part of her mask. Like she had the mask for everything down here, then she had like just a big ass brain on top, and I never really understood why. I was like, why? Like just straight up why? So weird. You know, and then you had all the other characters in there. You had the kids that it was the 3 kids that came from the other wrestling school that they weren't masked luchadors. They used to just come around and beat them up every couple episodes. They were always fighting above their weight class too. They were always fighting adults, other just luchadors from other places. They had an episode I just watched not too long ago where they went an El Rey, his action figure El Rey, and they went into El Rey's book bag, and they started. It was just like a big vast wonderland for somehow, some way, and they ended up having like savage book bags in the in the book bag itself that they had to run away from. There's so many weird episodes. Ricochet had an episode where he was going to wrestle like 3 heavyweights, so he went and he ate and just binged food for like 24 hours, but then he came back and he was heavier than all 3 heavyweights combined and had to fight in a whole weight class by himself. I remember the Mr. Fishy Fish episode with the Flea, and he had the fish that completely hated him, but he thought the fish loved him, and he ended up having to wrestle the fish in the end. I remember that episode. Oh, man. Now, you know when you say something, and then, like, it's like something just, like a key unlocks all those memories in you? Like, that's what's coming to me right now. All these memories are unlocking right now. Oh, man. I mean, there's another episode where Ricochet, he ends up fighting alongside his dad. Actually, there's a couple times. But there's one that I just remember him fighting alongside his dad, and then he ends up, all 3 of them are in a tournament with their dads to decide who's going to be the winner of the tournament, and all 3 of them get to the finals of the tournament. And see, something like this, as a kid, I gotta say, as a kid, I loved Ricochet. Like, he was my favorite character as a kid. I remember the episode he lost his mask and we kind of saw his face. That was another classic one. But as an adult, my favorite character is the Flea. Like, no doubt my favorite character is the Flea. Like, the Flea is hilarious. He makes the show. Without him, the show wouldn't be anywhere near as good as it was. The Flea was not a good friend. He would run away at a moment's notice. Every time he'd be like, wow, it looks like you guys are getting ready to fight. The Flea is just going to go this way. Like, and they would just end up pulling him back in the conflict. He's always getting hurt in some type of way. Where are the Flea's legs? Oh, that's right. Right here next to the Flea. Like, he was, every episode, he was getting mangled in some type of way. And the Flea was the worst friend in this entire show. The episode Ricochet lost his mask. And I remember I was talking about the other episode, but I'll come back. The episode Ricochet lost his mask, and at the end, the kids were like, getting ready. No, the headmistress thought she saw Ricochet without his mask, so she started like stomping down the hallway, getting ready to go see who it was, but because she couldn't confirm. And the Flea was like, "Hey, Ricochet, you know when it comes down to, I'll never let you down." And then he turned and he looked. He was like, "Oh, somebody dropped their lunch," and he just grabbed the lunch and started fucking the lunch up. I was like, "My man, you didn't even like." You didn't even finish your sentence before you left this man to die. Yo, the Flea was the man. Oh, in the episode where the 3 of them actually got to the finals with their fathers, and the 3 of them started to wrestle, and Ricochet was getting ready to win, and he pinned Buena Girl down, and he was going back in his head as far as like, you know, don't let something like this tear you apart from your friends. You're bigger than anything, any of these titles, blah, blah, whatever. And Ricochet was getting ready to give up and lose. Oh, Ricochet was getting ready to win. And then at the last second, he like faked a cramp and threw himself on the ground and held his arms like, oh, I got a cramp, I got a cramp. And then Buena Girl saw what he did and was like, oh my God, such an act of kindness, such an act of, heroism, blah, blah. And then she like interned did the same thing and she fell out holding her stomach like, yo, my cramp. And then here goes the Flea like, oh my gosh, two amazing acts of heroism. Will the Flea follow up with a third? Nah, the Flea's gonna win. He wants the he wants the trophy. And he went to go pin the both of them. He went to go pin them both. And then he like tripped and fell and hurt himself, so they called it a tie. But that man had no loyalty. He was like, fuck this shit. I want to win. I don't care about y'all. My man wanted to win. He did not care. He was like, Mr. Flea, the Flea wants the trophy. He said he was going to use it as a doorstop in his bathroom in his house. It's like, oh my gosh, yo. The Flea was the man, though. Like, you can't, I don't know. There's certain people that are going to say Ricochet. As a kid, Ricochet is not a goody two-shoes because he comes off like a dick certain episodes. Like, it's crazy to say, like, these are animated children, but he came off like just an asshole sometimes. And then Buena Girl was too goody two shoes. Like, underrated character was Snoopy. Snoopy was the man. Everybody loves Snoopy. Like, you couldn't hate Snoopy. But the Flea makes Lucha. Like, there's no Mucha Lucha without the Flea. It's in the intro. It's in the intro for a reason. Like, the Flea was the shit. Like, literally, and Fleas be around shit, kind of, sort of, I guess. Anyway, so you guys gotta let me know. I mean, it's gotta be consensus. It's gotta be the Flea. You can't. I mean, you guess you could say Ricochet was your favorite. I guess, like, you can't be Buena Girl. Buena Girl can't be nobody's favorite. She was too goody, and everything was too check the book, Lakota Mask Wrestling for everything, and it was like, come on, like, she was too by the book for anybody. Like, so it has to be the Flea. The Flea was the funniest. He was gross. He took a shower every 3 months and he dreaded it. And as soon as he was done with the shower, he'd go jump into the dirt and go roll around in the dirt and get himself dirty again. Like, the Flea was just awesome. He was awesome. Come on. He made the show. And again, I wish they showed some of his moves because they didn't really ever really show any of his moves. Like I said, Ricochet had his pinball. Buena Girl had her bulldozer, and the Flea was just like too gross to show on TV, so we won't show it. We won't be showing this. But I just remember as soon as the first episode came on, everything came back to me, and that's what I've really been noticing lately as far as like going back and watching a lot of these shows. Like, you're like, oh man, I remember that show, I remember this, I remember that, but like the moment the theme song hits, you're like, damn, yeah, I remember this shit. And then the moment like they say certain episodes pop on, like as soon as the episode popped on and they were like, we wrestle for honor, family, tradition, and I was like, and donuts. And the grandpa came out of nowhere and was like, and donuts. I was like, yeah, I remember this shit. I remember this like the back of my hand. So now just going back and watching episodes, I'm just like, oh man, damn, I can't wait to watch this because I'm like quoting episodes because I remember this, I remember that, I remember this, and it's things you always forget until it comes back on. It's in your face and you're watching it, and then you're like, yo, like, I remember all this. Like, damn, I remember all this. Lucha. So sorry guys, I was rudely interrupted by my number one contender for the strap. Anyway, like I was saying before I whooped his ass, motherfucker. You hear the crowd chanting? Oh man, it is nice. It's nice to be king around here. So anyway, like I was saying, Lucha was just a great show. I loved it. The Flea was by far my favorite character. Actually, rewatching as an adult, I will say he is. Ricochet as a child was my favorite. Sorry this promo's going so long, but you know, when the champ speaks, everybody's just gotta listen for a while. But let me know down below. We'll end it here. Let me know down below who your favorite character in the entire show was. I mean, it could be El Rey, it could be Mad Dog, it could be Mask Dog. Everybody loved Mask Dog. He was mad cool. Everybody would stop what they were doing and dap up Mask Dog, whether it was a regular person, a hero, or even some of the bad guys in the show would dap up Mask Dog for some reason or another. But bells just rang. I gotta hop in this ring. I got some jobber to go fight. So until then, guys, keep it locked to the channel. Like, comment, subscribe, do all those things. Oh, damn it, my intro was playing. I'm late. Alright, y'all. Peace.